Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are around the world. You could be in Europe, you could be in America, you could be in Chile. Welcome to a new program of One Coffee with R with the Chilean Institute of Construction. Today, I really have a really nice person that is going to be here and will make her testimonies about the look of a company, how a company is looking net zero for the future. She's Aurelie Mossoux. She's the sustainability and purchasing manager for NMC. Welcome, Aurelie.
Good morning, Roberto. Good afternoon for those that are living in Europe. I'm very happy to participate to this session and to this program, to have this discussion with you.
That's great. I mean, these stories always come with something what is behind. And I know you like animals and you like nature. I'm beginning because you like these two things. I think this is the way you stepped into sustainability. What can you tell me about this one?
Yeah, actually, my background is more about economics. I studied management at the university, and back then, I'm not that old, but I'm still a bit older. Back then, no one spoke about climate change, environmental topics, or that kind of subjects. But with the experience and along the years, besides my personal love and passion for nature, this topic became incredibly more present. And I have the conviction that everyone, every company, every organization is part of the system. We are not beside the planet. We are not on an island where no one is impacted or is impacting nature. And therefore, over the years, it became clear for me that companies have a role to play, and that I was working for a company and I wanted to understand better what it means, what companies can do, and how they can improve to make sure that all together we can live in a sustainable way and that we can do sustainable activities. That's what I did, and that's also why I learned environmental management in a few years ago, and it became really clear to me that it was important to embed environment, but also the other social topics within the strategy of the company.
Okay, and how many years have you been trying to, push through this in the company?
It's been 5 years now. I can say that it started 5 years ago when we first introduced our green team within NMC. So I participated to a seminar with other companies that were already doing that and that were having a group of people that were really convinced and working on very practical actions to protect the environment, to promote those activities within the company. And I really thought, this we should do. And we started to do that. And then after that, I had the opportunity to study environmental management. And also it became part of my position because I was previously purchasing manager. And then sustainability came on top. And now I have the chance to be focusing solely on sustainability. And I'm really excited about that because I really feel that we can do something. And I'm really happy to be part of that.
Can you tell me a little bit about that course that you did in university about sustainability? Because this is kind of new for me, and I think it will be very important to let us know what is this about and why did you move from I mean, even though you were very, passionate about this, with these studies, now you know where's the target.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really, so the courses as such was really very concrete about environment management within a company. So really very practical courses about pollution, about climate change, about soil, about water management, also about environment permits for companies. And there I could at the end of my study, I had to prepare a work where I could help also NMC to make a part of its renewal for the environment permit for the plant here in Belgium, and I studied quite deeply the emissions that we were doing in the atmosphere on the plant here in Belgium. And this is really how I learned what does environment mean within a company. So really in a business, in a manufacturing plant, what does that mean to manage environment? That was quite interesting. And this is only a part of sustainability, of course.
When you mean a part of sustainability, what are you thinking about?
Yeah, usually the definition of sustainability is finding the right balance between planet, people, and profitability, considering that the resources which we are using are not infinite. And we have to find the right balance to make sure that the companies, the businesses are sustainable. It means that they will last after us, that the planet will be inhabitable for our children and the next ones, and to make sure also that the people and also the society in a broader way benefit from the activity, which also means protecting the people that work for NMC, around NMC.
And have you seen any changes 5 years ago until now? In not only the company, in around the world, around the city, around where you live, can you feel that there is a change 5 years ago and today?
When it comes to really climate and environment, I can confirm that at least where we are, there is not a day where there is no mention about the effects of climate change. And also the effects that it might have on the companies and how the companies can impact this. If you have a look, the last few weeks in Europe, there have been enormous fires in the south of Europe, and I think it has become even more clear to people how it could look like if we do not act.
And but do you think that, I mean, let's think about these people that is going on vacation to the south of Europe. Do you think that those guys really realize that these fires and this change on the temperatures that you can get over 42, 45, it is because of the climate change, or people still think that there's something wrong, but they don't know what?
I wouldn't say that everyone knows or that everyone is convinced, but I'm pretty sure that more people know in comparison to 5 years ago, for example, that people see now that it exists and that it's changing. People are, even in their everyday discussions, they are saying, it's changed. It's not the way it used to be. And I think that indeed it becomes clearer, but it's sure that not everyone is convinced of that. Some politicians are still not convinced, and there are still some messages that go against that. But I think that it's still evolving. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go to NMC now, because I mean, NMC is doing a big effort in going to net zero, and it's making many actions. What is the NMC vision for this problem?
Mm-hmm. First, I want to emphasize that it's not new. NMC has not discovered sustainability 5 years ago. The company really has in its values and in its DNA to continuously improve. And by continuous improvement, it also means reducing resources use, reducing energy uses, reducing waste, and finally having a lower impact. This is not new. A few decades ago, we were the first that stopped using some kinds of gas that cause ozone depletion. So this is not new. We've been striving to... do you still see me?
Yes, perfect. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Because I don't see you anymore. Okay. So we've been striving to improve. And however, we felt in the recent years that we really need to be more consequent and to have a more structured approach. And that's why we really started this new sustainability program, to really clearly define our vision, the objectives that we want to reach, and also to have the proper structure to reach those targets, and also to involve the whole group to reach these targets.
When we talk about the vision, looking at the NMC vision, can you give us a little detail about this vision?
Yes, of course. So for NMC, sustainability is all about 4 pillars. So these are really our sustainability pillars. We first have the decarbonization pillar, which is all about reducing our CO2 footprint from energy consumptions, let's say, roughly. So this is really the first pillar. We want to reduce our scope 1 and 2 emissions compared to 2019. And then we have the pillar circularity, which is more about resources, raw materials. So really the type of raw materials which we use for our products, but also improving the recyclability of our products and optimizing the types of packagings that we have for our products. And basically, this is more about scope 3 emissions for the ones who know what this is about. And then we have 2 pillars that are more concerning people. The first pillar is health and safety. So really physical health. We want to strive to a zero harm vision, make sure simply that everyone that's working for NMC comes in a safe state at home. And of course, empowerment, which is really making sure that people within NMC grow and that NMC can grow together with them.
And if we go into the details, let's talk a little about empowerment. When we are talking that we need to protect the people at NMC, which are the specific actions you are thinking about?
For empowerment, we really want to focus in the next years on training that is given to people, and really to reach an average number of hours of training per person per year within the whole group. So this means in all locations, including Chile. Of course, we know that training covers different types of trainings. It can be technical training, but it can also be general trainings on safety, on environment protection, on very specific tasks that someone has to complete. This is really broad, but we really want to make sure that everyone has a chance to be well trained and to progress within the company. And also, we really want to make sure that the people stay at NMC and that they are happy and that we have the lowest turnover possible, and that people that are good and that grow, they also stay at NMC.
Good, very good. And when we talk about protecting our resources, because this is very important to kind of shout very loud, that because when we see the companies all around the world, and we see that they are extracting whatever, minerals, water, whatever, sometimes they will be finished and we will not have any more water, or we will not have any more minerals. What is NMC thinking about protecting our resources with the circularity program?
Yeah. With the circularity pillar, our goal is really to increase by the years the use of circular materials. With circular, we are not focusing only on recycled materials, but recycled materials are, of course, one of the possible solutions. It's really using materials that have been somehow used already and not extracting new fossil resources, for example. Of course, we are working in the plastic industry. We know that the impact of the plastic industry is not negligible, but also we have to take into account the advantage that our products give to the consumers. If we take into consideration the insulation products, those have a positive impact on the climate change. So we already want also to measure more and more systematically the impact of our products in terms of CO2 emissions. So from one side, making sure that we use materials which have a lower carbon footprint, with recycled, with bio-based, with mass balance products, and also making sure that our products are easy to recycle and that can also be put back in the loop, on the other hand, and also making sure that we know what is the impact of our products.
Aurelie, is it too difficult? Because I mean, when we talk about all these things that you guys are going to do, there's a bunch of different actions. Do you think it's too difficult? It's something that if we know that we need to get to the target and we all work together, we will be able to do it?
It will be a challenge, but I guess that what is important is really that everyone understands that every action counts. Of course, there are some actions which have a higher impact than others, but every action counts. And by having really regular exchanges and also good practice exchanges within the group, we really are convinced that there is a way to go to reach those objectives. We have built within the company a sustainability network. So in each of the locations, whether it is a production location or a sales office, we really have local ambassadors, we call them, who are responsible for each of the pillars. And everyone in the pillar is involved to define action plans. Of course, we understand that some locations have other realities, and we have to, of course, adapt to that. But we are convinced that by exchanging ideas and also coordinating and having a common goal, it is possible to reach those goals.
So ambassadors will be, a key factor on this path that going into net zero.
Of course, because sustainability is not the matter of one or two persons, and that's also valid for everything, not only within a company. It's not a matter of having a hero that will solve all the problems. It will only work if everyone is committed. And if everyone gets also support from the external, from inside the company. So it is clear that this is another way maybe of considering how to work, how to do things, how to progress together. But I'm definitely convinced that this is the right way to go.
Okay, and if we move into the whole Europe, what do you think that the European companies and the European countries is doing in order to get to net zero? Because I mean, there's something that NMC and other companies should commit by 2025, should commit by 2030, and for sure net zero by 2050. What is the European community doing towards getting into that target?
Well, from a legal perspective, European Union has been very active the last years, also to put new regulations in place. And bigger companies in Europe as of 2026, or even earlier for some of those, will have to report. And to give information about their plans, about how they intend to reach those goals and what they achieve or what they do not achieve, and also to report figures on that. So it will, as from a certain size, no company can ignore that EU has objectives, and each company will have at least to ask itself the question, what does I do? And how do I intend to work towards those objectives? This being said, you know, when there are some requirements to communicate on Scope 3 emissions. Scope 3 emissions not only concerns the product that we buy, but also the materials that we use to do it. It's also concerning our suppliers, which means at some stage, everyone is asking their suppliers, how can you do to improve? And little by little, the whole supply chain will be concerned at some stage. So I think that EU has really been very active in framing a legal background to push companies to act, and if not to act, at least to think about, well, what am I doing? So this is quite important, and this is also an external pressure which we have to take into account.
So that when we go to number 3, it's scope number 3. It's very important because even though the smaller guys, maybe suppliers of these big companies, they will also need to think and to adapt themselves into this program. Is that right?
Yeah, it's right, and no one will be able to do it alone.
No.
This was clear from us from the beginning that, when it comes to the raw materials that we use and also the end of life of the products that we manufacture, we are not the one who collect and recycle the materials, and we are not the ones who produce the raw materials. We can choose the raw materials which we use, but we are dependent on what is available on the market, and we are dependent on what the suppliers, the recyclers, the whole chain is able to provide. So that's what I said when I was thinking, okay, it's not the matter of one person, it's really a matter of working together with the suppliers, together with the customers, together with all the downstream actors to understand how we can do better.
So let's say that we need to be very optimistic on this one, even though from the legal point of view, EU is trying to push and push and push in order to get net zero. I mean, I think all this push will be very good for the nature, for the planet. I mean, we are taking care about the planet, and NMC and other companies around Europe are thinking and doing the same thing, even though the smaller guys.
Sorry, it cut. Sorry.
That everyone is pushing through getting to net zero. I mean, big companies, medium-sized companies, and small companies, because they will need to accomplish the law at the end of 2030.
Yes, and some companies also have a strong vision. So NMC has a strong vision, and some of our customers also have a strong vision, and they push the suppliers. So as we are somehow dependent of what is available for us as materials to produce, so are our customers. And our customers are pushing us, and we are pushing our suppliers, and all together at some stage we improve. And this is supported partly by the regulations that are coming, and by the common goals that companies will have to follow.
Aurelie, it's almost we are finishing the program. It's almost 30 minutes from the beginning. I think that you give us really good insights. What do you think personally about the future?
I'm optimistic, and at the same time, I really think that now it's the real momentum, and we all have to do the right choices. But when I say we, I really mean not only companies, not only countries, but also customers. Everyone in its position has a role to play, has a choice to make, and can really make a small difference, and all small differences together could really bring a big change. But it's really important that somehow bigger powers push through the change. But the sum of all changes can make a big change. So from that perspective, when when we had the COVID, it was quite impressive to see how the human species is really able to adapt quite quickly. Not perfectly, but very quickly. And therefore, I'm really convinced that we have this ability, but we have to do it now. We have to understand that we are all on the same boat, even though some might think that they could live on Mars or on the moon. We are all on the same boat. And therefore, I'm optimistic, and I also at the same stage wish that big powers would do a quick move.
Well, I want to really thank you for your time. It has been a great program. And I would like to invite our guests for a next One Coffee with all talking about sustainability and everything, what will change our behavior. So again, Aurelie, thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.
Pleasure.
And see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.